Hello, welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. I'm Dan Thomas, joined by Craig Burley, Shaka Hislop and Stevie Nicol. Gentlemen, according to our rundown, today's programme is a Cristiano Ronaldo-free zone.
Not anymore, apparently.
Well, yeah, because I did. Anyway,
No, you've just...
It is not, though, a French-free zone because we welcome in our Liga expert, Julien Laurens. The reason we start with Julien is the front page of L'Équipe. La conversation secrète between Zinedine Zidane and Kylian Mbappe. Apparently, Julien, Zizou has promised Mbappe minutes if he comes to Madrid.
Yeah, exactly. The secret conversation, according to L'Équipe, when Zinedine Zidane took his phone and Florentino Perez sat next to him and spoke to the Mbappe family, Kylian and Wilfried, the dad as well, who's very important in the way he manages the career of his son, obviously. And they promised him that if he joined Real Madrid this summer, he would play enough games, enough minutes. You know, they didn't talk too much about rotation or everything, according to L'Équipe, but that at least he would play a lot. And if his worry was to go there and sit on the bench or play with a reserve or, you know, whatever, be in the stands, that he needed not to worry at all because he would play if he was going there.
And this is a true story, Julien.
According to L'Équipe, yeah, I tried to verify it. I've been given an answer today by the Mbappe family, whether that was true or not. But let's not forget, and it's what we mentioned on the show on Monday as well. It's, you know, when Kylian was 14, Real Madrid tried to sign him already. They invited him to Madrid. He trained with the under-15. He watched the first team train. He spoke to Zidane at the time, who was already at the club, obviously, you know, in the as sort of a director at the club. He spoke to Cristiano Ronaldo. And since then, the link has never been cut between Real Madrid and the Mbappe family. So I wouldn't be surprised even if Zinedine Zidane maybe spoke to him, I don't know, last winter or last summer. Or I don't think it's nothing new. The new thing is that, yes, if he goes there, he will play. But again, you know, when we see how amazing the kid is, it's not surprised that if you spend 150 million euros on him, it's to play him. It's not to put him in the stands.
You mentioned, of course, we talked about this on Monday, and you were talking about the fact that you kind of felt that maybe he will stay at Monaco. You certainly hope that. Does this conversation prove to be a game changer at all? I'm
not convinced that he actually is, to be fair. I think it's always flattering when someone like Zidane picks up the phone and calls you and tells you that he trusts you and he wants to play you and that you can join the biggest club in the world. Is great. But he knew that before anyway. He knew, again, that if they spent 150 million on him, it was not to put him on the bench, or at least not most of the time. So, you know, Arsene Wenger as well is trying to seduce him, and Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola and Unai Emery and all those clubs are doing exactly the same thing that Zidane and Real Madrid have done. So on that level, I'm not sure that will be a game changer. But as we said on Monday, Real Madrid is the club of his dream. Is the club he's always been a fan of, even being from Paris. And I think if there's one club ahead of everybody else because of that, it has to be Real Madrid.
I'm presuming with all these alleged conversations that have gone on that Monaco's blessings for this to happen is okay, yeah?
Well, this is it, Julien. You know, how frustrating is it from a Monaco perspective that all this is going on, like, in the public eye?
Well, I think they know that there's not much they can do about it. The tapping up thing that English people, for example, are very fond of doesn't have really the same importance, if you want, in France. And Monaco know they have, I don't know, the biggest rough diamond in world football right now, and that everybody will try to sign him and everybody will try to speak to him or to his dad or to his uncle and try to convince them to join their club. And I think they're okay with that. They received a few offers. They've all been rejected. And like we said on Monday, on the Monaco point of view, is they've offered him a new deal with a huge pay rise to stay just another year. And it's a World Cup year. It's very important for him to play regularly, go with France to the World Cup if they qualify. And after that, next summer, the same clubs will still be there. There'll probably be more clubs even. And then he can go. But for now, they know people are trying to convince him to join their club. But Monaco is still hopeful that he will stay for another year at least.
He's going to go to Real Madrid.
It's not a bad situation to be in. As 18, you've got all these clubs going, come and play for me.
He's going to go he's going to go to Real Madrid for me. And he's going to fit in there just great. Because he's just a super talent. And you've got Ronaldo, who's in his 30s now. You've got Benzema, who's not getting any younger. You've got Gareth Bale, who's had injury problems. This guy could fill so many roles in the attacking third for the next 10 years.
Has there ever been a player that Real Madrid have wanted that hasn't ended up at Real Madrid? Because I can't think of one.
Yeah.
They always they always get their man, or their boy in this case, because he's still a boy. And really, we're talking about how do Monaco feel about this. They're in such a bad situation that if he stays, he plays for them. But if he goes, guess what? They get 130 million euros. They must be sick. Hey.
Shaq, what advice would you give him?
I think you take the opportunity. If Real Madrid do come knocking with that kind of money, you take that opportunity. And yes, I understand it is a World Cup year and you're concerned about the number of minutes. But for me, I think he's talented enough. And despite Real Madrid's successes over the last 12 months, I think he fits into that team wonderfully well. I think he makes them better. I don't think it's as big a concern as maybe he seems to be concerned about.
Let me try and ask this with a straight face. Liverpool, of course, have
They're
been...
not in for him, are they?
Well, yes, they have.
Wow.
Been very, very blatant about the fact they would like to sign him.
Yeah, that's a shock. Are you seriously asking me? Listen, Liverpool's not paying 130 million, if that's the asking price.
Yes.
But you know it's going to be around there. Real Madrid are paying that.
Yeah.
He goes to Real Madrid. It's really simple. It's really straightforward. I'd love to see him at Anfield. Unfortunately, I might do, but it'll be wearing a white jersey.
Oh.
Your wicket?
So,
Julien, I mentioned Ronaldo at the top. There is, of course, talk that Ronaldo will go and Mbappe then will come in to fill the void left by him. Does the fact that it's gone quiet over the last few days and there hasn't been too much talk about Ronaldo moving on suggest that Mbappe will go there with or without Ronaldo?
Yeah, for me, Cristiano is not going anywhere. I don't think Gareth Bale is going anywhere. Karim Benzema is very happy there. So the whole thing about one of the front three that BBC will go and then make room for Kylian Mbappe to arrive and be a starter, I don't believe that a second. But Kylian Mbappe can still come, and we've seen Gareth Bale with a lot of injuries this season. Cristiano being really rotated nicely by Zidane as well. So there will be enough games for him, even for those front four to sort of rotate in many ways and everybody to be happy. But again, it would be easier if one of the top three was going and then he would come and be straight a replacement.
Meanwhile, of course, Arsenal have been in for Mbappe. However, suggestions are in the media that they are very close now to signing Alexandre Lacazette. Should Arsenal fans be excited about this prospective signing, Julien? Is it an upgrade to Giroud?
It's a different player, different style of player. On social media, a lot of people have been asking me, but is he much better than Giroud? It's different type of player, different style of football. Let's not try to compare them. The thing is, and again we mentioned it on Monday, that he was the priority for Arsene Wenger, who has really liked his improvement in the last season or so. Before that, I think Wenger was a bit sceptical, maybe, and a lot of people were, especially in big matches. He was always going missing in big matches. The last season, he's been fantastic, really carrying Lyon in big matches as well against AS Roma, for example. He was fantastic in the Europa League. So I think he's really stepped up. His game all around has improved everywhere, and I do think he would be a very good signing for Arsenal. Is it what they need? I'm not so sure, but I think it would be a very good signing, very interesting signing for them. When you say you're not sure if he's what they need, Julien, what do you mean by that? I think he's 26. If you ask me, can Lacazette come and take them to win the title and go back to the Champions League and in 2 years' time winning the Champions League, I think that's a bit early. If the Arsenal fans wanted someone to win them the Champions League or the Premier League, Lacazette is not ready for that. He's not ready to be a leader straight in and go there and just change that team and make them winners again, or at least by himself. So for that, they need to sign a world-class striker, and Lacazette is not just up there yet. That's the problem, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That's been the problem with Arsenal signings over recent years.
Yeah, I mean, I would have him behind quite a few, including Aubameyang and one or two others. I mean, quite a few others. I mean, he has had a good couple of seasons at Lyon, for sure. Saw him play in the Champions League this year. The difficulty for me is we're at this period where Arsenal say, well, we're sniffing about Mbappe, well, we're sniffing about Lacazette, and we're sniffing about this, that, and the next thing. And Arsenal fans will tell you better than me. The last couple of years in particular, it's been all talk.
Yeah.
And then they've got right down towards the last couple of weeks of the transfer window, and they're scrambling to do business. If Arsenal are going to do it, and it is Lacazette, try and do it early to at least give the fans some hope going into this season.
The thing for me is Arsenal need more than just one player, be it Lacazette or not. And as much as Lacazette might not be that one leader to win them the league or to win them the Champions League. I think in many respects, Alexis Sanchez has that personality.
But he's going to leave, Shaq.
I know, but and that is my point. Even with somebody who is as dominant in the dressing room and on the pitch as Alexis Sanchez is, even with his numbers, Arsenal still find themselves in fifth. They need a whole lot more than just one player coming in as an Alexis Sanchez replacement if they want to kind of deliver on the promise that Arsene Wenger has been promising for so long.
At the same time, though, Arsenal can only try and improve themselves. You know, Arsenal find themselves in a position where they're not signing the top guys around the world because they're not in the Champions League, for example. So you look at Lacazette and you think, well, is he actually making them better? Well, he is, because he's way better than Giroud.
He's
far more dynamic.
Really?
He's far more dynamic than Giroud.
But Giroud starts ahead of him, doesn't he, in the French team?
Yeah. Goodness knows why. Listen, the guy scores way more goals than Giroud. He's far more dynamic than Giroud. If I'm playing centre-back, I'd love to play against Giroud every week.
Yeah,
I wouldn't like to play against Lacazette.
Well,
and Lacazette is a better footballer than Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck gets around and he's a bit dynamic and he runs around, but he's not as good a footballer as Lacazette. So Arsenal are making themselves better. That's what they have to do.
You talk about Giroud in the national team, just briefly, is that the fact that he plays is because his record playing for France is almost 1 goal in every 2 games, and he's played over 60 times. So that's one of the reasons he plays for France, because he delivers almost every game.
Well, plenty more transfer speculation, of course, throughout the summer. But coming up after the break, Hercules Gomez will be here, so we'll be looking ahead to Heineken Rivalry Week, and we'll be explaining what me and Tony were doing this morning. What was that, Tony? It is Heineken Rivalry Week in MLS, and it doesn't get much bigger, does it, than the Portland Timbers against Seattle Sounders. That game live on Sunday. Remember, it's a little bit later because of the heat. It's on at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Now, in the spirit of Heineken Rivalry Week, I donned the jersey of Portland, took on Tony Collins of Seattle Sounders, as MLS brought foosball to ESPN. I was brilliant, by the way. Very good.
I can see that.
If you were playing, that was fool's ball.
It was hot, really hot. I was sweaty. But it wasn't just me who had a look at Tony dance there. Shaka also had a go.
Oh, Shaq, tell me you won.
We were winning. Richard nearly died.
No, you weren't a goalie, were you?
Now, Richard obviously works for ESPN Deportes. He was struggling, wasn't he, by the end, Shaq?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I've only seen goals out of Richard, though.
Well, they edited it to make it look... it's the editing.
Hercules Gomez is here. And Herc, you know all about the Seattle-Portland rivalry,
Yes.
don't you? Just tell us a little bit about it and about how intense it is.
Well, you're talking about two cities that are close in proximity that just don't like each other. It goes beyond just soccer. You talk about Portland, Seattle, 1975, the first time these two teams faced off in NASL action. So it goes way beyond MLS. This is an actual rivalry. You talk about these fabricated rivalries that sometimes MLS has. This isn't one of them. There's actual bad blood and hatred between the fan bases, between the players, the coaches, the ownerships. It's as real as it gets. Two of the best fan bases in Major League Soccer, the two marquee fan bases squaring off head-to-head.
Now, what are we going to see on the pitch?
It's going to be hot. I don't care what time it is. It's an incubator at times. If it says it's 80 degrees, you can bet it's going to be 100 degrees because of that turf we spoke about the other day, that field turf. Your feet burn. It slows down the pace. It's a definite advantage for Portland, and Stevie knows what it's like to be on those type of settings. It's not easy.
So you're saying Portland are going to beat your former team?
This is the great thing. Seattle's struggling, Portland is struggling. When it comes to this type of rivalry, everything goes out the window. What I'm saying is there's no edge. Nobody has the advantage. I wouldn't surprise me to see either or win. I know it's not what you want to hear, but it's that type of game.
So you're going for a draw?
I am.
OK. Meanwhile, of course, away from Heineken Rivalry Week, it is the Federations Cup. And it's starting to get to the business end of the tournament, certainly for Mexico. They take on Russia this weekend. And as it stands, Mexico know that a draw or a win against the hosts will see them safely through to the knockout stages. You take a look at the SPI, it's got them pretty evenly split. Mexico coming in at 38%, Russia at 33%, the draw at 29%. What's your thoughts going into this one?
it's almost a draw gets Mexico through, but it's a must-win. It's a must-win on many levels. Juan Carlos Osorio and his men, they didn't impress against New Zealand, and that has everybody worried down in Mexico. It has the press worried. It has the general public worried. I don't need to tell you guys what it's like to play in a big tournament and play against the host nation. It's not easy. This game on paper is a trap game for Mexico. They can very well lose this game. I think they have the talent to beat Russia, to advance, but it's not going to be easy by any means.
I've heard you talk a lot this week saying this is the best squad that Mexico's ever had.
It's the best generation of players. Now, you guys up here know it's the big difference between a bunch of good players and a very good team. And I don't think they're a very good team per se, but they have the best generation of Mexican players ever. That's hands down 13.
So why are they
God, are you saying these players are better than Rafael Marquez and
Rafael
Hugo
Marquez
Sanchez?
Is part of the team.
Well, he's nearly 40. What about Hugo Sanchez and players
Hugo
of that era?
Sanchez, Craig, Hugo Sanchez was never a marquee player for the national team. He was a great club player, but at the national team level, he left much to be desired. This is a great Mexican base of players, the most talented group ever. But on the field, I
feel like you're trying to sell this, and I'm not quite buying it because we saw them play against New Zealand.
Did they impress you against New Zealand?
No,
Exactly.
But how can this be the best Mexican team ever if they're
the best group of Mexican players ever?
I don't quite know what this means.
Tell you what, they find a way to win, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you
against
want?
Who, Stevie?
Oh, Steve, I'm with you, but they don't impress. They don't impress the general public. They don't impress the press. As long as they win,
when do they find a way to win? What are you talking about?
What do you mean? They've only
When was
lost
the last
twice
time
in
they lost?
competition. One in official competition.
And who did they lose to?
Chile.
And what was the score?
South American champions.
What was the score?
7-0.
And then what was the Germany-Chile score? Germany C against Chile. It was a draw.
It doesn't matter. That's different time.
I'm just saying.
Talking about trying to make an argument.
No, I'm not trying to make an argument. I'm just saying that we just seem to be building this Mexican team up.
This is regardless of what you're saying, this is a team that let's put it another way. They don't get beat.
Yeah.
But they don't play anyone who can beat them.
They're sitting at the top of the hex.
Why is that
for the
their
qualification of the World Cup?
Right.
Shut up. I can sit at the top of the hex.
They can only sit at the top.
We talk about the hex. What about European
By the way,
They don't
guess where they are?
4 teams out of
They're
6.
sitting at the top of this group in the Confed Cup
Montenegro
as
is very
That's how
difficult to
bad
play
they are.
against.
Now he's going to
Let's
tell
talk
me the
about
hex is
that.
difficult to get out of 4 out of 6.
Montenegro.
Honestly, a bunch of jokers.
Play Montenegro every week if
for
I
a
could.
lot more on Rivalry Week, by the way, go over to ESPN FC. This is brilliant. An 8-bit old school introduction to the rivalries in America. Check it out. Superb. Welcome back. Reports in England suggesting that Jose Mourinho is going to strip Wayne Rooney of the Manchester United captaincy. Paul Pogba, a possible candidate to come in and replace him. Meanwhile, it looks like he's going to stay, Rooney. But I felt like we spent the whole of last season talking about the fact that this was his last year at United and he was going to move on.
Well, he's going to stay because as far as I'm aware, nobody's prepared to pay his wages.
This is it, because he's on massive wages.
It's not because Man United
are
particularly keen to keep him. I think Mourinho would get rid of him in a heartbeat. But he's got a year left in his contract or thereabouts, and they have to come to some sort of agreement, which I think that will happen. I think Mourinho will go to the board and say, come to an agreement so he can leave and we can save some money.
Is that the best situation for both sides, though? If you're Rooney, what do you do then?
Listen, if you're Rooney and you want to keep playing, you have to go now.
Right.
Let's be honest, he's hardly kicked the ball last season.
Yep.
And if he stays at Man United another season, he's going to be in the same boat. So you're looking at 2 years, pretty much
Probably
not
going
playing.
to be worse on their side players.
100%, aye.
What's happened, Stevie? It's Wayne Rooney.
He's just too old now.
What's happened to him is what happens to everybody. You know, eventually you lose that extra yard, and then when you lose that, you lose a bit of confidence, and then everything starts to fall apart a little bit. No, I'm not saying he's completely done, but if he wants to keep playing...
Where would he go, though, Stevie, where he would prove that he's not completely done?
I think he has to. I think the MLS would be absolutely perfect for
Yeah.
him. I don't think going to another Premier League side would make him look any better or any worse than he did when he was at Manchester United.
Now, we saw David Villa come to MLS and he's done excellent. We saw Frank Lampard come, Steven Gerrard come, not so good. Who would you think he would fall on? Which side of the argument?
I would think he would fall on the side of doing well. I misread the Gerrard one. I thought Gerrard would do well, but I misread it because I think where Gerrard plays, you really need the legs more.
Okay.
Whereas Rooney, you get him the ball 25, 30 yards from goal, what he's got between his ears is going to be so far ahead of everybody else. That's why Giovinco's doing well. That's why David Villa does well, because he's playing against players who don't think as quick as he does. So what he may have lost in his legs, he makes up for it in his brain.
We're talking about Rooney, though, as if he's 35, but he's only 31, isn't he?
Yeah, but he started a long time ago. He broke into the Everton team at, 17? And a lot has been asked of his body over that time. And physically as well, he is fairly stout.
On the wane. I thought you were going to say on the wane.
He's stout, and he's had to carry that around for 14 years. And it comes to different people at different times. But at the same time, as much as we're talking about Wayne Rooney right now in this vein, I don't think that should reflect on who he was or his record in years gone by.
I mean, that's where you can throw age out the window. Because it's really not about age a lot of times. We've seen people like Gary McAllister, Gordon Strachan, Teddy Sheringham at Man United, all playing late into the late 30s and looking as fit and as lean as ever. And other people, it's just different. And he's in the category I've started earlier. And he's not going to be playing at that level, clearly, when he's in his late 30s. It's been highlighted with the fact, his performances are highlighted with the fact that Wayne Rooney's in a Man United team over the last few years that have been struggling. Yeah. And when you're struggling and the team's struggling, it's highlighted even more.
Meanwhile, Southampton announced their new coach today, Pellegrino, coming from La Liga. You take a look at his CV.
I always think this is the other one.
I know, you've got Pellegrino.
He's going to make your life a misery now, Craig.
I've got to see the picture and then I believe it.
He was with Rafa at Liverpool. Looks to be an astute signing for Southampton.
Listen, they got rid of Puyol because they didn't like the way his team played.
Yeah.
This guy's teams have played football, open attacking football. Southampton, you better be careful what you wish for.
You're listening to Love Advice with Leanne. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Leanne. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Why, in your professional opinion, do you never take my calls off the air?
Is this Carl?
Yep, it's Carl. I mean, we had a few dates. Everything was great. I thought,
Well, when you switch to Geico, you could save a lot of money on car insurance.
Okay, awesome.
You should call them.
I will.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Welcome back. You take a look at Mario Balotelli's season at Nice, and it is a little bit like his career, a little bit of a roller coaster. Started well. It was a dip, wasn't it, between November and March, and then he rallied towards the end of the campaign, scoring those 5 goals in April and May. Julien, looking at his future, do Nice want to keep him, and does he want to stay?
They do want to keep him. They do. They didn't think it would be possible because he was on huge wages, €4.5 million a year. But it turns out that he wants to stay as well, and he's ready to take a little pay cut. Not a huge pay cut, but a little pay cut, which means that maybe Nice, or at least they're hopeful, that he will stay another year. Lucien Favre, who had some disagreement through the season, especially over Balotelli's work rate, his movement off the ball especially, seems happy as well for Balotelli to stay. I think he had a very, very positive influence, funnily enough, in the dressing room and also on the pitch, especially on the younger player. Him and Dante have done a lot of very good work with the younger players at Nice, and I think it'd be a very positive thing as well for Ligue 1 to keep Balotelli for another season.
Meanwhile, let's talk about a player who looks like he's be leaving Ligue 1. Bakayoko on the way to Chelsea. How close is this deal to being done, Julien?
Yes, I think the two clubs have agreed, or are pretty much very close to agree. There's only a few details left between Monaco and Chelsea for the transfer of Bakayoko. It was always on the cards, really. I think from very early on, he was their priority in midfield. Conte was always wanted to put Conte and Bakayoko together, and I think for him, he had other clubs interested, like Manchester United, for example, but Chelsea was always the project that he was really keen on, working with Conte, who obviously used to be a defensive midfielder, was very appealing for Bakayoko, and he sees in Chelsea the great step higher for his future and for his career, and I think it could work out very well for both parts.
How well do you think this is going to work, though, Julien, overall?
I think great. The thing that Bakayoko needs to get next season, and where Conte is going to be a huge help, is that the concentration, the focus especially. We saw, for example, the first leg against Manchester City in the Champions League, where he would do 15 great minutes, and then for 10 minutes would disappear of the game, and then another 15 great minutes, and after that he would disappear again, and come back strong again. And I think he needs that consistency through the same game, and Conte will help him to stay on the same focus. stay on the same level always, and then have peaks now and again, but never go missing like he's been a bit at times with Monaco, especially in the big games last season. So for that, I think Conte would be perfect with him like he was with N'Golo Kante, and I think playing with Kante for Bakayoko, having another Frenchman there would be perfect. And the way Chelsea are playing, the Premier League, he's so physical, he's so strong. It would be perfect for him. I just hope he adapts very quickly to Conte's methods and to the way the Premier League is being played.
Signing makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's only going to make Chelsea stronger and better, and that's bad news for everybody else in the Premier League.
Meanwhile, of course, there's another player who's looking to leave Ligue 1, and that is Marco Verratti. Julien, he's made no secret of the fact that maybe Barcelona is the destination that he wants. Where are we with this?
Well, since Monday, actually a few things have happened. We talked about it on Monday. Since then, Marco Verratti made a quick trip from Ibiza, who is on holidays, to Paris, to meet Nasser El Khelaifi and Antero Henrique. Nasser El Khelaifi, the PSG chairman, Antero Henrique, the new sporting director in Paris, to repeat to them that he wants to leave the club. He doesn't want to play for PSG anymore. He wants to join Barcelona. And the club have responded the same thing. You're not going to go anywhere. So, get on with things because we're not going to let you go, whatever the price. And especially because Barcelona can't pay at least 100 million euros, which will be the money where we will start maybe considering it. So it looks like it's stalling and Verratti still wants to go and PSG still wants to keep him.
Of course, if Verratti goes to Catalonia, he'll be playing alongside Lionel Messi, who celebrates his 30th birthday this weekend. After the break, Shaq will be saying why he hates him. Lionel Messi celebrates his 30th birthday this weekend, and to mark the occasion, Chris Jones has written an excellent article over on ESPN FC. Be sure to go over there and check it out. Julien, Messi's birthday means that we have to reopen that old debate, isn't it? You take a look at his honours, 507 Barcelona goals, 58 for Argentina. He's won the Ballon d'Or 5 times, 30 titles with Barcelona. Is he the best ever?
I think he's right up there. Yeah, I think he's right up there. Again, comparing Pelé and Messi or Maradona.
Shaka would tell you because he hasn't won the World Cup, he's not the best
same.
ever.
But I know, but he played the final and in many ways he was maybe unlucky to lose the final. He lost 2 finals of the Copa America as well. And some great players haven't even reached any finals of World Cups or Copa Americas, for example. So I get Shaka's points. And of course, winning it 3 times for Pelé is a huge achievement compared to Messi never winning it. And I think, again, it's hard to compare different eras and periods of times and everything. But I do think we've been very privileged to see such a genius because, like Maradona or Pelé, he is a genius.
I think that's a yes.
Kenny Dalglish was Stevie's mate, old teammate, was one of the greatest players that Britain ever had. He played for Scotland and couldn't win a watch. You know what I mean? So he's not. I know what Shaka's argued about this before, but it ain't really your fault where you come from. You know what I mean? There's some, it's not his fault. Some people say he should do more in the final.
You're saying that as though he's from Trinidad and Tobago. He's from Argentina.
What if he was from Trinidad and Tobago? Let's just say he was from Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, then let's say this. Let's say he lifts his team higher than anybody expected him to. Let's say he goes into a World Cup and absolutely sets it alight. And as much as he won Player of the Year in Player of the World Cup in 2014...
I'm not winning this argument.
No, you're not.
I'm not
Lionel Messi has not scored a goal in the knockout stages of a World Cup. How can we put that and say, yeah, he's the greatest ever? I'm not sure how it adds up.
Nobody said he was.
10 years. 10 years he's been there.
Okay.
There.
Happy birthday, Lionel Messi, from all of us but Shaka Hislop, who hates
Why
you.
you hate Messi? You hate Messi.
Welcome to Extra Time. The weekend is almost upon us, but before we leave, thank you for your tweets. Let's take a look at some of them. Julien is here as well. Julien, Verratti or Dembele at Barca? Who are you having?
That's a tough one. I mean, they can't have both, and it's a really tough one. I would go for Dembele.
Oh, wow.
Who makes me dream more than Verratti.
Oh. What else makes you dream more, Julien?
Yeah, well, see.
More insight into your dreams.
I like how Julien had to think about that question, bearing in mind we just did it 2 minutes ago.
Say again? What?
I like how Julian had to think about that again. It was very professional.
Well, it's because we had to
redo we did it 2 minutes ago and had to redo it.
Well, there were technical issues,
wrong,
exactly. But he was just playing along.
Oh, is that how you do it?
Yeah.
Is that French acting skill there?
Well, I think it's just professionalism, isn't it, in general?
Well, what's unprofessional about saying we did it 2 minutes ago and we had a technical issue, so we're doing it again? This is extra time. It's not on live television. It's on ESPNFC.com. That's quite easy to understand, isn't it?
Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe he wants to be the next Frank.
Is this live or not?
See that again?
No.
Is this live? No.
Is it live? Are we live?
No, we're not.
Right, thank you. So
we've just got to just say every technical problem that happens.
Well, we can say it on here, can't we? I mean, people know this is not live. This is not live.
Was Ronaldo consistent enough to...
When's the extra time I've been live?
Was Ronaldo consistent enough to win the Ballon d'Or, or Messi should get it being successful as an individual consistently?
This is going to... I'm in a Ballon d'Or free zone now for 6 months.
Good.
So, carry on.
Stevie?
He's dead.
That's a tough one.
Well, it has to be Ronaldo.
That is a tough one.
It's not tough.
It's not
That's
tough. Not that tough. It's Ronaldo's going to get it.
Coming from a Real Madrid fan, you're going to say it's Ronaldo.
I don't care if he wins the Ballon d'Or, but it's not even a discussion.
Fibs.
Of course I don't. What are you
Don't tell fibs.
Have you ever had so much garbage in all your life?
What do I care?
Shall we do this segment again, just to give you a chance to think about that?
Aye.
What do I care if he wins the Ballon d'Or? Doesn't make any difference to me, does it?
Look at that for a bluff.
What?
I'm not bothered. Yeah, I'm not bothered. Yeah, that'll be right.
Says the man that was sitting at the Champions
You were nearly crying during the Champions League.
Says the man that was sitting next to me at the Champions League final, everything.
Of course, yeah, but I wanted Real Madrid to win that. I think it's very different than to just look at it biasly and think, oh, I want Ronaldo to win over Messi.
Oh, you are biased.
Steve, you had it.
But,
You are biased.
I don't think I am.
Yes, you are.
Don't believe so.
You are.
Right, well, we
How
could
would
be
you
here
know?
we could
How
be here
would
a
you
while.
know?
Have you got any instances of his bias?
Well, every time Real Madrid's on the TV, he couldn't be any more biased if he tried.
But I don't think I bring that to the couch.
Well, I have to disagree. I think you do.
Goodness me.
Stevie.
See?
What? What, see? Because he agrees with me.
Well, he's not been a little bothered, but he agrees with me.
Shaka, where do you stand on this?
Ronaldo's got to win it.
Yeah. Julian?
What, because Messi's not won the World Cup?
I'm bored of those two. I'm bored of those two winning it.
You're dreaming of Dembele.
In fairness, no, I'm bored of those two winning it. I would give it to Luka Modric, the best midfielder in the world, or even Gigi Buffon, who's had an incredible season, and yeah, he lost the biggest game of it all, but I think he would deserve it as well.
Gigi Buffon?
Yeah,
See, you're bringing sentiment into it now. There shouldn't be any sentiment in these things.
Final question is, who has the weirdest laugh on the panel? Shaka has the best laugh, doesn't he? Shaka,
Marvellous false laugh.
Shaka has a
I don't
pretty...
think Emre's got a weird one.
Not really. Shaka's laugh. Sometimes he
laugh
goes
even
through the
more.
whole show just laughing.
That's what I dream about.
What do you dream about, Craig?
I know.
You dream of Shaq?
Dream of me.
I know what he was going to say. He was going to say...
the 8th sexiest man in Trinidad and Tobago.
I was going to ask him, because I think I knew what the answer. He was going to say Peroni.
That's it.
Dan dreams of
Scott
Ronaldo.
has got everywhere.
Dan dreams of Ronaldo.
Yeah.
With another Ballon d'Or.
Well,
Yeah.
he just has to look at the posters and...
I'm not bothered. No, I couldn't care less. I'm not bothered.
ESPN FC is back this weekend. We're on late. We will be live at 12:30 a.m. Eastern. You can join us on ESPN2.